All right, folks, it is Tuesday. Dusty and Lonzo is back. The dynamic duo, folks. Like I told you, we are here about to make this happen. Drop this hip hop knowledge and news and information, folks. It's about to go down. Like I say, every week, y'all, from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve after dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. In the room, sharing the screen with me right now. Ain't no time for the dugout, boy. It's my man, Dusty Vision. What's up with you, Dusty One?
Lonzo, doing good. How you doing today, player?
I'm good, man. Just doing what I do. What's happening with you?
Man, same old, man. Doing good. Getting ready for Halloween. The holidays are here. Shit, I went to Home Depot and it's already apparently Christmas already.
Man, they skipped over Thanksgiving completely. Went straight to Christmas. Just skipped over Halloween.
Yeah, it was yeah.
Now Thanksgiving, you might see a few things in there, but for the most part, no. Ain't no big money holiday. That's just food day. That's a food day. I need to get you on these toys and these clothes and these electronics. All good though.
Facts, man. Facts. Well, let's jump right into it, man. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Had a few things I would like to touch on with you. Go for it. What you got?
No, I forgot. We pulled that with guest today, man. I didn't hit homeboy back. So I ain't gonna trip. We do it next week.
Get him next week?
Yeah, we get him next week. You talked to him?
All right, cool. Yeah, that's right. I was meant to ask you about that, but it's all gravy. No, I haven't talked to him at all.
Okay.
All good, baby. All good. Let's get to it, man. A couple stories that I thought were interesting. I would love your thoughts on, man. Unfortunate situation. An 11-year-old youth football player in Florida shot two of his teammates during an altercation at practice. Allegedly, it was a fight over a bag of chips that led to the shooting, Lonzo. Now we have three young black lives changed over a bag of chips, dude.
You know, I was talking to some people today. I used to work for a nonprofit, Whole System Learning, to give them a shout out right quick. And one of the brothers who was there, they have to have classes on youngsters dealing with conflict resolution, because so many young men think the only way to deal with something is to put a bullet in somebody's ass. They don't know that shit. This ain't television. You go to jail. I don't understand what it is about the attraction to violence that makes it so easy to commit a crime or take somebody's life over some fucking potato chips, man. Dude, that ain't gonna never work for me. And that's again, I'm willing to bet you 9 times out of 10 ain't no man in the house, dude. I'm willing to bet you. And no offense to the ladies, it's just some things you can't teach them kids, them boys. Huh?
Yeah.
It
makes you wonder if fighting even exists anymore. I don't hear kids. It makes you wonder if fighting even exists anymore.
You know, and dude, even fighting, man, fighting has got to the point where even an ass whooping turns into a mob melee. You know, I was listening to Eddie Griffin yesterday talk about how so many guys, you know, you got 12 guys on one dude, how we whooped his ass. Yeah, y'all supposed to. Unless he was Bruce Lee, you had a pretty good chance of whooping his ass. One-on-one fights, man, you know, it's just, dude, I remember having one-on-one fights, and man, I got to go fight this dude, man. Watch my back. And first of all, the fact that you accepted the challenge was a badge of honor just from your homies and your hood. Win, lose, or draw. You got your ass whooped. The fact that you went over there and took the fade, did good, and if somebody started winning too damn much, all they would do is pull them off of you. They wouldn't just jump in and start mopping people, because, you know, usually the only person to get jumped on is the one already losing anyway. That's the part that's so bitch made to me. The man already losing. Y'all just gonna jump in and add some additional cans of ass whooping. Now, here's where the problem come in at. If that person has if he dies or has any type of personal damage, personal health issues, everybody fucked. Everybody's fucked. The first one that starts the fight, the last one to kick him. I don't care if you just the one to spit on him. You're going to be in court like everybody else. Okay? And that's the part these young fools don't get. When somebody dies in an altercation like that, everybody that threw a punch, In most cases, if you was trying to break the fight up, they're gonna call you in just to put you under the pressure, so you'll tell them who did do the fighting. Because the ones that did the hitting, they ain't gonna want to tell because they all pretty much, as they say, culpable. But the ones who didn't do nothing, he finna tell everything. He gonna let it fly, and that's just how the game goes, man. So, dude, if you don't want to get caught up in some bullshit, stay out of bullshit. Or as my partner say,
yeah. And going back to the jumping thing, go ahead.
You don't want to get caught up in some bullshit. Watch where you step. Go ahead.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we have a little slight delay. So if it seems like I talk over Lonzo every once in a while, that's definitely my apologies. But, going back to the jumping thing, Lonzo, especially if you're on parole or probation. I mean, a perfect example was Suge Knight. He got 5 years for one kick during the Las Vegas melee that eventually got Tupac killed.
Okay. Dude, especially if they want you. See, people, cats don't understand parole and especially probation. It's just a legal leash on your ass. If they give you probation, I'll let you out on parole, they looking for your ass. My partner was telling me a story just the other day. One of his sons got out of jail on parole. And homeboy gonna run a game on the parole board. And hey, man, I'm gonna stay at your pad. I'm really gonna be over here. Parole boy came to the house 2 days later, kicked it and knocked on the door. Where you at? They don't need no warrant. They don't need nothing. They show up. He better be there. I better have evidence he was here at some point in time. Or if not, dude, you got a problem. And the cold part about it is sometimes the people that's trying to help him can get caught up too.
Yep. That's facts. Listen, kids. Yeah, the STEM radio says, speaking of which, have you heard Puffy's been added to the mix about the Tupac murder? It was only a matter of time.
Wait. It's rumors he was added to the mix for a while. Who got the evidence? Who got the actual news story that Puffy's been, until
he's arrested, I don't believe anything.
Everybody been saying Puffy had something to do with it from day one, but nobody could prove nothing. And there was a middleman between Puffy and Keefy D, allegedly, that was supposed to kept the money, and Keefy D didn't get paid. So that's why he's been on a talking spree for the last 27 years trying to, hey, officer, I need my money. Puffy didn't pay me. Can I get paid? Hold on, Puff. No, man. OG Steve, I see you. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. So, yeah, allegedly, there was a middleman that was between Puffy and the actual perpetrators, and he didn't get paid. He disappeared. So, hey, you saw it on my man Steve, STEM Radio said he saw it on Willie D's channel. I don't know, man. I haven't seen. I got to look it out for myself. I don't want to start no lies and get canceled on Facebook or perpetrate some bullshit that's something that ain't really true. But hey, if that's the deal, that's the deal. Folks been saying it forever. It kind of makes sense, but you don't know until it's all said and done.
Yep. Yeah. You know that if it does happen, you will hear it first right here on Now Without Alonzo for sure. Lonzo, I'm curious, Puffy had his run, he had 112, he had Mace, he had Biggie, he had Craig Mack. What were your thoughts, in that early 90s, mid to late 90s when Puff was running the game? What were your thoughts on Bad Boy back then?
I never really tripped on Bad Boy. I like Biggie. I was cool with Mace. Craig Mack was all right. I wasn't a big Craig Mack fan. But the label came, it came up, they did their thing. They had Faith Evans and Mary J. Blige at one time, right? So he managed her. They did their thing, Doc. I can't get mad at them. They did it with minimum violence, as far as the artist. What I should say, Biggie was the one talking the most stuff, far as I can remember. But it was a great label. But again, when you get behind the scenes, it was typical of what black artists have always experienced in their lifetime. Somebody else, they doing all the work, somebody else making all the money. So what's really going on? And here it is, 2023, and these folks just not getting a publishing for what it's worth, if it's worth anything. I mean, it may be worth something, but it's like a lemon. Most of the juice has been squeezed out this lemon. Okay, it may be some juice to make something else, but ain't gonna be a whole lot. You won't get a full picture of lemonade out this motherfucker. That's for damn sure. Like I said before, what he should have did.
You know what I liked about Bad Boy, and I did enjoy their most.
No, what I would say, what he should have did is when people was offering all that money for the catalog, sold it and then give them the money. Because the catalog is more valuable, and the collective. You got to deal with everybody individually. That's too many lawyers. That's too many people. But if they just sold it, hey man, I'm gonna sell the catalog. Everybody getting their publishing. You're gonna get their part of the publishing. Now you done something.
Do you know anything about Snoop Dogg and how he attained death row and what he's going to do with the next? Do you have any, like, just knowing the business and things like that? Do you know anything about that whole deal? And if he officially owns it, will he ever make any money off of it?
I think he bought the name. Rumor had that he bought the name, and some of the masters. I don't think he didn't get the Dre stuff, of course. He may have gotten some of his stuff back. I'm not exactly sure, dude, but I know that the name has market value. That was a big name. Death Row Records was a huge name. It'll always go down in musical history, and anything attached to it is going to get looked at. It's just like Motown. At one point in time, anything Motown dropped, you're gonna look at it. You ain't got to hear it. You're gonna back in the day when they actually played records in the store. If a Motown record came out, people are gonna they're gonna play it for you in the store. What you think about this, man? I heard Tina Marie long before it dropped because it was at the record store. Motown dropped Tina Marie and some other stuff. The record executives of that time would go to the record stores, radio stations, and the radio stations were the last ones to play it. The record stores would play it before the radio stations. People are buying it. The stores are selling it. People are buying it, and now it makes the radio stations go on and start playing it. It was always ass backwards.
Yeah, man. Thanks for dropping that. Hey, who are some of your favorite female singers? I'm just curious. Speaking of R&B and Motown and things like that, who are some of Lonzo's favorite singers of all time, female specifically?
One of my favorite singers of all time was Tina Marie. And y'all get mad at me, you want to? She white. That woman could sing her ass off. I always like Gladys Knight. I love Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston, of course. I grew up on an era of women that sang from their heart, man, and sang from their spirit. That's some different. That's not just. Right. That's some different kind of shit, dude. Motherfucker be singing, you damn near start crying. That bitch feeling that song. Tina Marie got some songs, man, that will make you stop and think about what you are doing at that time. She had a couple of songs. On every playlist I got in my car or on my phone, there's some Tina Marie songs. And the songwriting, the production, her delivery was so dynamic. It just made you go, damn, baby girl can blow. I mean, and then she had a hell of a range. And like I said, for her to have 2 or 3 albums, maybe I think it's 2 or 3 albums I remember. They always, and a lot of the shit didn't get played on the radio. That's the depth of her music. A lot of a lot of my favorite songs never made the radio. But her albums were so deep. Yes, I love Shaka Khan too. But one thing about Shaka was a little bit different. They had the same kind of flavor, but Tina just had something. I guess she had to prove herself a little bit more because she wasn't of the melanated community. And that's why I always felt that way. She put a little bit more into it because she wasn't black. She had to compete with all the black sisters, the Patti LaBelle. I remember seeing a show one time, and it might be on the internet someplace, where Patti LaBelle, Cyndi Lauper, Tina Marie, Gladys Knight, and some other sisters, about 4 or 5 sisters on this award show, and they was kicking ass. Oh my God. It was like, bitch, please. You ain't gonna out-sing me tonight. Oh no, you're not. Okay, no matter every time the mic got passed, the sisters took it to another level, and Tina Marie was right there with him. And back in the day, Cyndi Lauper, white girl Cyndi Lauper, wasn't no joke. I ain't heard nothing from her in decades, but back then she wasn't no joke.
Nice. Yeah, that early MTV. What do you remember about the early MTV generation, dude? Like just seeing videos on TV and how people would actually use that platform to promote their music. I was a little too young to really understand it, but take yourself back to what, 83, 84, I Want My MTV and all that.
I remember when I first heard word of MTV, we had On TV, a little wooden box set on top of the TV called On. And MTV only came on for a certain time. And depending on where you lived at, this shit was fuzzy as shit. You could hardly understand what was going on. And finally it cleared up. And it was dope it was cool, that concept, because we didn't really see videos a lot back then. They had just kind of not really been invented, but they was just first time you had a place to see them all the time. And but you didn't see no black videos. It wasn't until Michael Jackson and Run DMC got on there, I really started paying them really some real attention, because it wasn't something, I wasn't into Cheap Trick and Def Leppard and other stuff. When they started playing Mike and Prince and other videos, then I started watching.
Aha. Do you know if there was a big uproar from the black community for not having a lot of videos on MTV at the beginning?
It was a big uproar from the black music industry, because they didn't, man, Rick James, I think they barely played, Michael was the first one they played, and they wouldn't play Prince because Prince was doing lots of stuff. I remember Egyptian Lover had a video, and he had a girl in the bikini, and they showed one pubic hair, and they wouldn't let him play the video. It was strict as hell, dude. It was, oh my God, it was really strict. Then they had that was BET. BET had the After Dark session. But yeah, MTV was really strict, especially on black folks.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's take yourself back a little bit further to the 70s. I love hearing stories about Lonzo's youth. Take yourself back to mid to late 70s. Lonzo, you got a fine honey at your house. It's about to go down, if you know what I mean. What is Lonzo popping on the record player or in the cassette deck? What artist are you popping in?
Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Guaranteed. Legs open up like bridges. Open like a bridge, okay? Earth, Wind, and Fire. But back then, dude, you can, if you had anything from the Dramatics, 70s, Delphonics was kicking ass, man. They was still, that shit was still hot. The Manhattans, Dramatics, the Dells, all that shit, man. See, back then, brothers made music for women. Nowadays, brothers make music for other brothers. Everybody want to impress the homies. Yeah. And that's why World Class Wrecking Crew was the way we were. I wasn't trying to impress no niggas with no music. The fuck am I gonna do that for? I ain't trying to impress you with my look, my clothes, nothing. I'm trying to impress the girls. And that was the difference in the times. Back then, everybody was trying to, all the artists was either trying to write some love songs or some social revolutionary shit. But no songs about trying to be hard back in the day. So I see you, Marlon. Much love, Doc.
Salute, Big Marlon.
Yeah. Wasn't nobody trying to write no songs to no brothers, man. Come on, dude. We wouldn't, nah, dude. It was a whole different mindset. We wasn't trying to get approval from no dudes from the block. We're trying to get approval from the ladies. And then you had songs like, groups like War. War was big in the 70s. War made just cool ass shit. Me and Baby Brother, Slipping in the Darkness, Why Can't We Be Friends, Lowrider. That was all that shit right there was just regular music. It wasn't appealing to women. It just was music that we liked. Okay. Even in the 70s, man. Frankie Beverly and Maze came out in the late 70s, man. You know, we had a whole chill factor. Then you got Roy Ayers, and you got you got Roy Ayers, and you got Lonnie Liston Smith, you got Michael Henderson. Dude, man, what nobody thinking about nothing but having a good time and chilling. When the shit flipped up in the 90s, in the late 80s, 90s, and started focusing on shooting and killing, man, that's why nobody understands it. Yes, Cool in the Game, man. Come on, Summer Madness. Dude, how you gonna fight on Summer Madness? Summer Madness. How you gonna fight on Summer Madness? Summer Madness is a song you put on in the background when you're trying to get your groove on for real. I mean, and Isley Brothers back then, every summer they were the kings of the summer, just like Will Smith is the king of the summer when it came to movies back in the late 2000s. Isley Brothers didn't drop until Labor Day. They rocked the whole summer. Them, and then right behind them would come Earth, Wind and Fire, and they have the song for the summer, man. That's the album for the summer. And you know, Commodores, come on, man, all that shit, dude. Name me a group that remotely made a song hating on each other. Nobody tripping on no dumb shit like that. In the streets, yes, we had our issues, but they weren't the focus of our lives. You know, women can give you you can get laid with Pillow Talk by Sylvia Robinson, knew what she was talking about, and shit, that shit was erotic as shit. And she never said what she was gonna do. She ain't never told you to color her asshole or nothing. She just did what she did. Pillow Talk, you know what Pillow Talk is. That's the lie you tell. That's the story you tell your girl when, you know, back in the day, we was all lying. Kashif was probably one of the most underrated cats. He produced everybody. Evan Champagne King, Stephanie Mills, that dude, but again, he was in the same era as Prince, Michael Jackson, Rick James. So he didn't get overlooked. He just didn't get the same shine they got. You know, he wasn't Kashif wasn't he wasn't no dancer. I never saw him in concert. Then you got guys like Luther. You got all these guys who was crooners and singers and shit. Man, come on, Doc. You know, it was just, dude, the world was different. And man, come on, Derek, don't even go to Cameo. Don't even do that. Don't do that. Because I was talking to somebody just the other day about Cameo. Confunction was in town Saturday. And I like Confunction. But if Cameo was in town, I'd have found reason to go. I'd have found energy to go. I like Confunction. Confunction is cool. Some cool brothers. I know Felton, all of them. But if I was going to hang out and do some funking, I'm going to hang out with Cameo. Simple as that. You know, Freddie Jackson. You know, I'm looking at the chat room. Brick had one album. That album had 3 or 4 badass.
Al Green for sure.
Come on, man. Al, come on, dude. Al ain't never did nothing but get you laid. Had you begging, okay? Begging and had you get you laid. He get you back with your girl in a minute. I'm still in love. You sing that shit. I'm still in love with you. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, shit, man. Come on, Doc. Marvin, you know, everybody, dude. Gap Band, all these folks, man. SOS Band is still in my playlist right to this day. Okay? Still. So when you think about the 70s, everybody was competitive and nobody sounded alike. Nobody sounded alike. It was everybody had their own sound. Come on, Marlon, you ain't being fair. We're talking about Barry. Barry, this dude came in, he said, fuck everybody. I'm doing an orchestra. I'm doing a funky orchestra.
Barry, man.
Everybody. Do that. Only person tried to get with him was Isaac Hayes. Isaac was the only one to try to get with him. Okay? But Barry had his own thing, he had it locked down. 40-piece orchestra with cellos and violins, oboes and trumpets and trombones and shit, French horns. What nobody doing that shit? Now, it was being done in the studio, but Barry White was the only one that made it. He made it his as an orchestra. He was the first that I know of, first black orchestra director. That nigga out there with that stick doing that shit. Man, come on, man. I think said, oh shit, Barry got an orchestra. I'm gonna get an orchestra too, but I'm gonna do mine a little different. I'm gonna be Black Moses. I'm gonna get the chain vest. I'm gonna shave my hair. Barry was like the walrus of love, okay? Dude, y'all, see, I appreciate my chat room. Still Radio.
I can't remember who it was. Yeah, for real, taking us down memory lane, man.
He Still Radio dropped Minnie. When Minnie died,
Teddy Pendergrass was another one, dude.
When Minnie Riperton died, Negro, I cried. When Minnie died, I cried. I ain't never met a woman a day in my life. Okay, when she died, she had a song that was going like, "I don't want to go, I ain't ready to go," and it was right by the time she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she died shortly after that. Man, dude, that song dude, come on, man. I was talking about her just the other day. Phyllis Hyman, another bad sister. Okay, OJ's they've been favorites forever. Stevie, come on, man. Kenny G. Now Kenny G. I know he used to be in Barry's orchestra. I didn't know that. See, my folks is up on it. Rufus. Oh man. I remember going to high school. Rufus was the shit. It's an album cover with Shaka Khan laying on the bed with the legs kind of spread open. Negro. Every nigga Centennial wanted that album.
Ooh wee.
Angela Bofield. Angela Winbush. Oh, come on, man. Y'all hurting me now. But again, look how deep we can go. Look how deep we can go. And most of these guys, I don't know how. I think only one I know how old is Martin. Martin just run the big 5-0. But again, that goes to show you somebody been in somebody's record collection. Okay, Donnie Hathaway, his Christmas song is one of my favorite songs of all time. This Christmas by Donnie Hathaway. Come on, man. Can nobody sing?
This Christmas by your side.
Ain't nobody can fuck with that song. I've heard it remade 1,000 times, but he's the only one that did it. Come on,
literally
man.
My favorite song.
You hear Donnie Hathaway sing This Christmas, you know it's Christmas time. Okay, Martin. Okay, Mr. Union say he's 51. Okay, so y'all got an ARP card, so y'all know what I'm talking about. If you got an ARP card, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Chris did it. He did it a little. He tried to, but it ain't the same. Just like Beyonce tried to do Frankie Beverly's song. Nah, it's cool, but it ain't the same. It ain't the same. It ain't the same. And Steve Arrington and Slave, come on, man. I met Steve Arrington back in the day, man. Me and their brother sat around and talked for like 4 hours one day. He didn't understand his impact on funk. He did, but he didn't. He and I got to talking. He's playing one of his songs. He just made this new song called "Lost and Found," and this was a bad because he got saved, and he made this song called "Lost and Found," man, and it was such a funky ass song. And when I heard the original version of it, it was funky as fuck. And this was right in the edge when they had analog and digital tape, analog and digital. And they decided, I heard the analog version, they messed around there and did it digital, and it washed all the funk out. It's like somebody bleaching your black t-shirt, man. It just didn't feel the same no more. And it was, I knew Steve very well. I know Steve very well. Tried to get him on my show. Firecracker was a big hit at Eve After Dark. Firecracker, that was a hit for Eve After Dark. Steve Arrington, Weak at the Knees. That was when people knew when Lonzo started DJing at Eve After Dark. It was the first song I played was Weak at the Knees every damn week. They knew at some point in time in the first 3 to 5 songs, I'm dropping Weak at the Knees. Okay. Brass Construction was how I came up with the name for my my company, Disco Construction. I was a big Brass Construction fan, big. I mean, I had all their albums, and that's when we went to the horn section, the horn battle of funk. Brass Construction, Sky, Tower of Power, who else? Cameo, and Confunction all had huge horn sections, and these boys was blasting on folks. And who was that? damn it, it was somebody out of New York. It was Brass Construction, Sky, and somebody else. It was one more group out of New York. I can't think of the name right now, but they were like in competition for who had the baddest horn section. Okay, and when they made their song, that shit would just be bumping, and the horn charts would just be they'd be blistering shit, man. It was the shit, dude. It was just the shit. It was just the shit, man.
Damn.
And we'll never had.
Someone said Sheila E. That was one of my personal crushes.
Always had a crush on the Sheila E. No, the other one. Not Sheila.
Sheena Easton.
Yeah, no, it is Sheila. It is Sheila E. Yeah, it was Sheila E. Okay, she's still fine right now.
Yeah, rock, body rock. Everybody want a body rock. Oh my gosh, she's beautiful.
She's still fine right to this day. Okay. Fatback Band dropped. When they dropped I Like the Girls, that was the most eclectic, funky ass song. Man, that right now, let me drop I Like the Girls at one of them oldie but goodie parties. They're gonna turn around and think, where you finding that? And all them old folks gonna drop them canes and put a hump in their back. They gonna start grooving. Dude, we had the music. Okay? We'll never have that shit again. Everybody's listed on this thing. The Time, Switch, Heat Wave, everybody. Ray Parker Jr. Most people don't know Ray Parker Jr. played with everybody before he even got radio. I got a Ray Parker Jr. story. True story. My partner worked for Arista. He was a promotion man for Arista. And back then, they took every Tuesday, every Monday, Tuesday was record day. So Monday, they'd have record parties. They'd have release parties at all the clubs. My partner was a promotion guy. We up in Disco 9000 on 9000 Sunset Boulevard. The club, Disco 9000. And Ray Parker was a celebrity guest. And my boy said, Lonzo, I'm in trouble. I said, what happened, man? I hired some security guards, but nobody showed up. I need you to play security. Now, I wasn't the Lonzo y'all looking at right now. I'm looking like I'm about the size of goddamn Corrupt. All right? I'm about Corrupt size, about 160, maybe 170. And I'm the same height, but I ain't got the weight I got right now. All you got to do is just stand there and look tough. So I'm standing there. He offered me $200. I'm like, shit, yeah, I'm going to stand here and look tough. So I'm standing there. And my job was to keep the girls off of Ray Parker. That was my only job. Wasn't no men in line. But women love Ray Parker. Women love Ray Parker. Ray Parker Jr., I should say. And I'm standing up there, man, and I turned my back to get a phone number. And, man, one of them girls got up on Ray and kissed him. He got pissed off. I ain't never seen a man get that pissed off about no woman kissing him. She left some lipstick on his face. Oh, he was upset. I got fired. But I didn't give a shit. But, yeah, it was almost at the end anyway, so it was good that he left after that. But, yeah, true story. True Ray Parker story.
Damn. Oh, man, I love these stories, dude. It sounds like the chat loves them, too. I love when you just go on a rant of your good memories, dude. But real quick, since we're halfway through the show, I want to remind everybody to hit that like button. If you haven't already, please smash that. Looks like we're just over 50 people. Let's try to get to 100 tonight. And if you could share the show, that would be dope as well. And if this is your first time joining the show, you are tuned into Not Without Alonzo. Please hit that subscribe button if you like what you hear. It's a crazy time in the world right now with all this war and shit going on, but we thank you guys for joining us and hopefully escaping the madness at least for an hour every Tuesday. But let's jump into to a question from Marlon, man. He wants to know how you and Egypt, the Egyptian lover.
How we did what? How we hooked up?
How you guys hooked up? How you guys? Yeah.
I can't say we ever really hooked up per se. We know each other. But we got one picture together. Me, Roger, Arabian Prince, and Egypt was at a event, and it was another guy had passed. We went to his funeral. We were all sitting on stage, thanking God it wasn't none of us. Egypt and I got hooked up back in the day through West Coast record distributors, long before Puffy and Jay Prince and Suge tried to do a distribution company. We did one. I had one. It was a concept I had put together through Macola. I just left Macola, and I had an idea that myself, Egypt, Rudy from the LA Dream Team, and Unknown DJ, because we were the powerhouses at Macola, would form a distribution company. I knew Egypt, but I didn't know Egypt that well. I knew, and I saw him around Macola. He was always kind of high flossy, had the Jerry curl, the Ray-Ban, the Gazelle shades, driving the Benz. He was always, in my opinion, kind of a bougie motherfucker. I don't really do bougie. He's still that way right to this day. And we were hanging out, and I'm like, we gotta do this right here. But Egypt had his girl run his company, and we had formed the West Coast Record Distributors. We were right there on 54th and Western, Good Fred, and Good Fred's Good Fred factory, and we was making money, man. We was making money, and that's when he dropped Rodney O and Joe Cooley, their first album. I dropped the Compton compilation. Rudy from the Dream Team, he had JJ. We dropped JJ Fast, Supersonic. So we did all that shit at West Coast before anybody. We was independent. That's when we still had independent record distributors before all of them went out of business. That was our market. We sold to independent record distributors, and we made money. We grossed $1 million the first year. And even with all that, the attitude of my man never changed. He always, our opinion of him was he always thought he was better than us. Because he came out the box banging. When he dropped Egypt, he was banging that shit was banging. That shit was smoking. And that nigga head went like this and never came back down. Okay? He still think it's 1985, right to 1884, right to this day. So we cool. We ain't never done nothing together, probably won't. Because we got different attitudes about working with folks. And we did some business together, but that was about it. He was always Uncle Jam's Army, and we was them niggas from the other side of the track. As far as he was concerned, we were the niggas from the east side. East side was always my territory. And it wasn't until I left and started doing record crew tours, the Uncle Jam's Army came into Skateland. Other than that, they couldn't come to Skateland. They tried it. They did it for a minute, but it didn't work out that well from that long.
A man said he was big-headed, huh?
That shit was swollen.
Damn, dude. Art Chavez says, Lonzo, do you recall the first West Coast rap video? Was it on MTV's Friday Night Videos? You remember the first West Coast rap video on MTV?
Rap video, man. I can't recall what that was. I'm gonna have to say it was probably Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, man. Shit, I don't remember, dude. Record Crew never had videos. I did one video after Dre and them left. Okay, so it wasn't us. Might have been the Dream Team. They had a video. Might have been the Dream Team. It wasn't Record Crew. Could have been Egypt, and it could have been Bobby Jimmy and the Critters. I know Macola had funded some video production for Bobby Jimmy and the Critters. You got to understand, back then, minimum cost for a video back then was $25,000. They shot videos back in the day with film. They called them videos, but they shot them with film, which means you had to buy a bunch of film because somebody fucked up. You got to develop that shit no matter whether it was messed up or not to see what you got. And that shit was expensive. They was doing 32 millimeter. Was it 32? It was 30 something. I think it was 32 millimeter. Then they tried 16. 16 wasn't that bad. Then they would convert it to VHS. But for the most part, it wasn't a whole lot of videos. Maybe N.W.A. shit. It could be. Or maybe Tone Loc. I don't know, dude. I'm not sorry. I can't speak on that one. I can't speak on that one. I would love to say.
Yeah, that's a great question. I was even trying to look it up while you were talking. Yeah, I can't find it.
Yep. Great
question. I think you finally stumped Lonzo, man.
Yeah, you probably did. Man, I'm looking at my man here.
Let's see. Yeah.
My man Benny he said something here about the soundtrack of his life. You see that, Dusty?
Oh yeah, he says, Alonzo, thanks, Lonzo. Soundtrack of my childhood. I grew up on 103rd and Central, Will Rogers Park. Went swimming at the pool and the plunge in Lakewood. Great memories. The plunge. What's the plunge? I mean, I'm sure it was the pool, but do you remember that, Lonzo?
Yeah, it's in Lakewood, man. I mean, everybody had a lot of pools had different names. That was the plunge was in Lakewood, but I remember Will Rogers Park. That was at one point they used to have the black somebody's fair. So somebody was it it had an event there every year. Was it the black? Hold on, let me think. It was something they would always do there every year, and that was the one time it was cool to go there if you wasn't from Watts. And then we used to meet there. My car club, the Charismatic Vegas. Yeah, I had a Vega. Met there every Sunday, and we never had no problems. It was us and the Volkswagen Club would meet there. You know who gave us the most problems at Will Rogers? At Will Rogers Park, the motherfucking police. I never forget this long as I live, man. Long as my heart beating, I never forget. We were just sitting there one day, minding our own business. It's a true story. It was about 20 of us in the Vega Club, and another 10 or 15 in the Volkswagen Club. And this cop walked up to us. He took his badge off, took his name tag off, everything. Walked up to us with his gun, with a throwaway pistol, like kind of tucked behind his thigh. What's going on? Nothing, officer. I ain't an officer. I'm a deputy. And he was just fucking with us. And he took the gun and set it on the door and was talking to us. And I saw him. And I saw that movie, Pulp Fiction, when they blew off Leon's head on accident. And I saw that scene in that movie. It took me right back to that shit because he set his gun on the car. We just sitting there kicking it. We no alcohol and no weed, and he was just trying to find a reason to come fuck with us. And it was like, dude, we had to humble ourselves to no end to keep this cop from doing something stupid. No badge, no name tag. Took his gun belt off. All he had on was a cop uniform, a sheriff uniform, and a 38 tucked behind his thigh, like he was gonna sneak up and smoke somebody. And dude, that's a true story, man. And we stopped meeting there after that. We started going someplace else. That dude was awesome. He was on some special kind of shit, man.
Yeah.
We never had no problem out the Watts, fellas from Watts, because everybody was from everywhere back then. Go ahead.
Yeah. We've talked about gangster rap extensively in the past and how its mixture with crack cocaine was like an unfortunate perfect storm, for the early to mid 80s. However, we've talked very little, if any, about the hood movies, like Colors that came out in 1988, Boys in the Hood came out shortly after that, Menace to Society, South Central, American Me, Blood In, Blood Out. But how influential do you think those movies were to the spread of gangs and things like that? Do you think it was as influential as the music?
You know what? I think that they made them more influential than they really were. One of my dudes, another true story, when Colors came out, one of my roommates, I just bought this house where I'm at right now, and I lived in my old neighborhood, and one of my partners, he moved with me. He helped me move into the pad. He was also a roadie for the Wrecking Crew. We call him Fat Fat. Fat Fat's a good-hearted dude. Loved him some Lonzo. One of the best cats I've ever met. Dre knew him, and everybody knew him. He was our roadie. He would travel with us. But Fat Fat started dealing with, got into the gang life. And I told Fat Fat, hey, man, you're doing too much. You can't stay with me doing this right here. Fat Fat messed around there, went to Stockton, and he got into a situation with one of them Stockton boys, and he killed him. Well, the lawyer that they hired for him, he had called me to testify. I drove all the way to Alameda County and stayed overnight to go to court to testify for my partner. And I looked up and they turned the lights off and they played goddamn Colors in the movie, in the courtroom. I'm not bullshitting. They played Colors in the movie, in the court. I'm like, what kind of shit is this? He got 25 to life. He just got out.
He just got out a few years ago, right?
Years ago. They played colors in the movie.
Yeah, I do believe
they played
you
colors.
Brought him on the show one time. I do believe he was a guest.
Time, yeah. They played colors at his trial. And I'm like, what in the fuck? And he was like, dude, that shit was, the movie Colors was so off when it came to gangbanging. All they did was have some cats, some cops, and some gangbangers. They tried to, they convinced the 12 white people that he killed this kid in retaliation from seeing colors. He just saw colors. It's true, he just come out the movie theater.
That's wrong.
True,
That's fucked up.
They swore to God, the DA convinced 12 white people and a judge that he shot and killed this kid in retaliation for watching the movie Colors. I'm saying, come on, man, y'all got to be stupid as fuck. But that's how they do black folks. That's real shit. I wouldn't lie to you. I ain't no reason to lie to you, folks. And that's when I realized that this shit is fucked up. And see, people don't understand when you are behind the scenes on real life shit like this, it makes you reevaluate all the shit that you're seeing hearing in the records, seeing in the theaters. A lot of that shit catered to the streets. It was supposed to be, well, it was basically most of the time it was how-to videos. Okay, this is how you get caught up in the hood. And I was telling somebody today, we had a conversation today with some of my boys, the fellas I talked to today about coming and speaking to some of their schools or their classrooms. Music and movies are some of the most powerful shit you'll ever experience. Music more so than movies, but they go hand in hand. Because you don't see no good movies without a bomb-ass soundtrack. As a kid growing up, Lonzo Williams, grown-ass man. Now, I went to Catholic school, good square-ass kid, but I started listening to that. My old man had me listen to that. My cousin had me listening to Three Dog Night and Janis Joplin and all that old white shit on the radio when we cut lines. And shit, I wanted to be a hippie. I was watching, they had all kind of dance shows at nighttime, and it would be hippie kids doing their little dances and shit, and that was my influence. I even had some white pants that came with markers, and you could write on. You could had a permanent marker came with the pants. You could draw on these pants, write free love and peace and all that shit, and it came with the pants. But then later on, I started checking out Curtis Mayfield. People get ready, there's a train a coming. All that black liberation shit. Guess what? I changed my clothes again. I started dressing like Link from the Mod Squad because I'm watching the Mod Squad. I got a big ass natural. I got an old Army pea coat on, and I'm influenced. I'm telling you, dude, this happened to me personally. I said, I know how this shit works. Shortly after that, I heard Superfly. I heard Curtis Mayfield. He stopped doing the revolutionary shit and started doing Superfly. Guess what happened to Lonzo? Lonzo had a big ass natural. He got it pressed and curled doing the Easter vacation. My daddy had a buddy of his, just like on Good Times, Lenny with the Coat of Plenty. Homeboy his name was Bo. He had a trunk of plenty. He sold clothes out of the trunk of his car. This is honest to God truth. I told this story today at another situation. Bo would go to because back in the day, everybody had a club. Everybody was hustling. It was a different era. Bo would pull up in front of a nightclub. He got all these coats and cars and shoes. He stole shit out of his garage at the pad. He had this one black coat. I got a picture of me in this coat. This coat was $60 back then. Back in the 70s, this coat was $60. I cut this man's line 12 times for $5 to get this goddamn coat. There's no bullshit. And that was my influence. Now, I only heard the music. I didn't see the movie till damn near 2 or 3 years later. But it influenced me that damn much to change my style of dress, change the way I carried myself, and even had me sniffing baking soda like I was doing cocaine. So don't tell me what a movie or some music won't do to a motherfucker's brain. I am a fucking, I'm a living experiment on what happens when you see the wrong shit. Living experiment. So I know everything that's going on right now, dude, these kids are susceptible to this shit just like a sponge is susceptible to water. And no bullshit. And to say they're not, to say they're not, they are full of shit. Oh, music, man, fuck you. Don't tell me what music won't do, what a movie won't do, what imagery won't do. Bullshit. Bullshit. It did it to me. And the only thing kept my ass straight was my daddy had a big ass foot and a solid ass hand. That's what kept my ass straight. That's the only thing kept me from being like the rest of the motherfuckers. My daddy would kick off in my ass. The fear of my daddy kicking off in my ass was superseded all that gang shit, everything else.
I love hearing shit like that. This next comment goes exactly with what we're talking about. Benny McCrumbie says, we were skating around at Skateland USA and World on Wheels till EAZY E came out with Boys in the Hood. Next thing you know, everybody started wearing Dickies.
Dude, I'm telling you, at Eve After Dark, when I went to Eve back in the day, I first started, I wore suits to work every day. Me and Unknown would go shopping every Friday, every Saturday. We made money on Friday. We get up and go downtown, buy a new sport coats, a new shirt, shoes, whatever the case may be. I was a boss. I wore a suit. I'd cross the street from Avalon. I parked my car at the shopping center, cross Avalon. I got a briefcase and a suit. I'm going to walk on Wall Street every Friday and Saturday. When I did that shit until we left. Went to do those. But when I left, did some wrecking crew shit, came back, all I could wear to work was tennis shoes and jeans, doing the sweatshirts, because my job was no longer to watch people party. My job was to break up fights. I'm telling you what of all the people on earth, on all the people on West Coast hip hop, I've experienced every fucking transition from entertainment to where we are right now. From being a kid at St. Albert's, the great Catholic school in Compton, going to the noon dances, going to the after school dances, DJing Regina Chaley, going to Campanella Park, doing Eve After Dark, doing Alpine Village. I've seen it all. Doing male exotic, doing female exotic, doing gay lesbian clubs. I've ran them all. Strip clubs, adult clubs, teen clubs. I've seen the transition. I've seen it firsthand. Like ain't nobody I can think of on earth has seen as many transitions of music as I have. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Ain't nobody has seen it. Ain't nobody did as much with entertainment and music as I have. Skating rings, make records, sell records, write records, publish records, dances, DJ, make fucking videos. When it comes to entertainment shit, I've done it all. And I've done it all right there in the city of Compton. So I've seen the streets of Compton change. That's why, like I told my boy, we can't change them back to where they used to be. We can make it better than what they are. And that's just real.
Yep. Good looking out, Hologram MC. He says, watch what you listen to because you'll become it. Yeah. Lonzo just broke it down.
Like I said, if you ain't got nothing, you don't have nothing. If you don't have nothing, you'll have nothing. You got all. It's like arm wrestling, but one arm ain't got no muscles in it. All you gonna do is become what that arm wants you to do, and we don't have nothing to counter that shit, man. Everything that's being done. That's the part that people should get to see where is something ain't right. When you got all this negativity, you got all negativity all the time. That's like somebody said, you're going to live on all Hennessy all the time, all pork all the time, all whatever all the time. You can drink all the Hennessy. We could drink Hennessy. You could eat pork, but you got to do everything in moderation to have a balanced life. Right now, our kids are not getting no balance. Where is the Public Enemies at? Ain't where the KRS-One? Ain't if you do, you don't hear enough of them. Because Sexy Red and all the negative shit is getting that shit outplaying. Not because it's not because they want to hear it more, because they making you hear it more. Don't get me started. I would love to offer it.
Damn. Let's see. Jan Michael Johnson says, Lonzo, do you have any stories or remember the famous 1979 Crenshaw High School baseball team with Darryl Strawberry?
Yeah. Oh, no, man. I was out of school in about 79. I remember Darryl Strawberry being the shit. I also remember him fucking with that shit. I remember him marrying Shirley Strawberry from the Steve Harvey Morning Show when they was married together. I know she don't like fucking with him. No.
Is that how she got her name?
Her ex-husband, Shirley Strawberry, married.
I had no idea. I was today years old when I just learned that.
Yeah. She was married to Darryl Strawberry back in the day. She had no good luck when it comes to men. Now, you know, her current husband is locked up on some felonious bullshit. You know, they saw that. Her and Daryl got a kid together. He liked that pipe more than he liked her. She dumped him, and then she dumped on this new dude, Orlando or Nando or something like that. Find out he got all kind of shit behind him, all kind of fraud and shit. And oh man, this is a mess. I can't help her. I drop some.
She's been a pillar in radio. Shirley Strawberry. She was with the John London crew back in the day, wasn't she?
Back in the day, she was on the John London crew. I remember when he got rolled up by Omar Bradley. Ernesto, thank you, Gary's Garage. He got rolled up by Omar Bradley because when the Steve Harvey Morning Show first came out, they had this little segment called Little Crackhead. And Little Crackhead they was acting like Little Crackhead was a kid, and it having somebody imitate this dude. And like, oh my, like, no. See, this is why people the system didn't like guys like Omar. Because Omar stood up. I think he went down to K-Day and checked this dude. Hey man, them crackhead babies, we deal with them every day. This ain't no joke. This ain't nothing funny, man. He spoke up on the shit and they dropped that shit real quick. That was some real man shit right there. Grown ass man shit. No, dude. You white boy, you can't make fun of crack babies. Crack babies ain't no joke. And again, that's what happens when somebody steps up and says something. When you accept everything, ain't nobody gonna say nothing about Little Sexy Red because they didn't got it now. Where if you step up and say something, you automatically get canceled. You could lose your job.
You're a hater. You hate women. You hate independent women. You hate black women.
They got it all twisted up. So even if you got the balls to say something, you got to be careful what you say because you may lose your job, your funding, your whatever. And there's so much shit tied together nowadays, man. The dude, it's fucked up.
Yeah. Facts. Well, thankfully you are still around to drop your knowledge, bro, because we need more people to think like you. And definitely our audience, man. I noticed our audience are a little bit on the mature level. We don't have a lot of, we don't get a lot of, every once in a while someone will pop in with some BS, but for the most part, our audience, the chat room, they're pretty dope, wouldn't you say?
Our chat room is dope as fuck, man. I mean, we don't get no silly shit, you know? Maybe it's our app, but I know I was on Zoom a couple of times. I saw a couple of asses and shit, some titties popped up. We don't get that problem over here. Right. And right, man, there's no balance. Yeah. It's just sad, dude. We on the Hennessy diet and wondering why our kidneys are fucked up.
Man, that's so true, dude. That's so true. Shout out to the chat, though. Tyree says, Sexy Red sex tape leak. Word is, it ain't pink and brown. She allegedly released her own sex tape, and me doing research for the show, I made sure I checked it out, Lonzo, and I ain't been able to sleep since, bro.
Somebody told me yesterday she's supposed to be a porn star. I said, nah, that she ain't gonna make much money doing that shit. You just gotta want to see somebody naked. That right there, because she ain't that attractive. And them tattoos don't do her no justice. Them piercings don't do her.
I don't find her attractive at all, bro.
So, and here's something, man. Here's one of them things, man, that's been a plague. I've seen this before, even in the club business, where some of the girls who are not as attractive or don't have the bodies, they go above and beyond to do freaky shit. I had this one chick at the club, man. I hated seeing her coming because if she came to the club, somebody was gonna get their dick sucked. Invite me in the bathroom. I'm not bullshitting. Somebody gonna get blowed down, man. And I would see her. They would use her, and she'd be walking down the street 3:00 in the morning, and she wasn't really a hooker. She just was trying to get some attention, and that was her way of getting attention, was to just give up sex, freely. I mean, it was understood if you dance with her and bought her a drink, you get relations. You got to get relations. And dude, I've seen her since then, and she's still the same,
Yeah.
and I guess she's doing the same shit. You gotta be fired up today.
God bless those women. They got me through a mini night in high school and college.
See, they have their purpose. Anyway, folks, it's hours. Time for us to go.
But what you got coming up next, Lonzo?
Oh man, we're working on the EAZY Street. I got some good news that I can't even talk about it. So damn good today. I'm going to Sacramento Saturday. I'll be in Sacramento at the Sacramento Film Festival. They'll be screening Eve After Dark, and I'll be there doing a panel along with a kid from Kid and Play, and I think Money B is coming through also. So yeah, I'll be in Sacramento area for a while, folks. All my Sacramento fellas, come on through. I'll be there. I get there about 12 o'clock. I'm taking a late flight. Get there by noon. I'll be there hanging out in the hotel till about 4. I'm only gonna be there for a day because I'm out the next day, and I think I'll leave like 12 o'clock the next day or something. Just time to check out and get back to LA.
And man, always a pleasure, man. Stay busy, dude, and we'll talk soon. But don't leave without hitting that rap.
All right, folks, we're out of here, y'all. For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre into surgery. Dropped Ice Cube in the freezer until he got cold on the Eve After Dark 50-yard line Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that Hollywood bullshit because it was all crap. My history goes down deeper than most of y'all will ever know. Just remember that NWA stands for Not Without Alonzo. We out of here, y'all. Peace.